Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to more Hearts of Iron 4 Darkest Hour, playing as the Empire of Japan, led currently by Fumimaro, which means we are now back on track with a historical path, except I'm doing really well in China. Like, extraordinarily well. Like, this might be the best I've done in a very long time. 68,000 deaths, 1 million killed? I mean, come on! That's so good! Everyone's like, oh, infantry suck, you should use tanks! Telling you, man, it's the Air Force, dude. You get good artillery, good infantry, and a load of Air Force, you're gonna be fine. Anyway, I'm trying to put together some sort of a battle plan over here and figure out what we're gonna do. I feel like we might as well start moving in for the kill. There's not a lot of incentive to hold back. We've got a 60% compliance already set up against the Republic of China. If we look right here, from the 2 collaborations I did, that 60% means we're gonna be looking pretty decent even if I take over all of this territory with all this population. So we're gonna go with this, and we're gonna hope that this is the right call. I'm gonna get my troops more or less in position, and we should be more or less fine. This is gonna be okay. Hey, by the way, there's something I wanna point out, because I got a message on Discord that apparently I deviated from history in terms of Japan. And it's not my fault, except for lack of just total ignorance. But I'll show you what I mean in a second. Hang on, let's take a look at this. So I was told that apparently I chose the wrong foreign minister. I did not choose the historical pick. It seems like Matsuoka is in fact the historical pick. The thing is, I don't know that. I don't know all of Japan's history leading up to World War II. I've already talked about that. But here's the thing. You look at this, in Hirota, what does it say in the filter down here? It says historical. What do we see over here with Shirihara? Alternate history. What do we see over here with Matsuoka? Alternate history. So I just went with the game. But a little bit of Googling, at the very least, seems to show me that Matsuoka is, in fact, supposed to have been the foreign minister, which makes sense, because then I draw closer to the axis, which is what I wanted to do in the first place, because that felt right to me. Like, I'm absolutely terrified that I'm reading this wrong, but I'm looking at, let's say, Wikipedia right now, and it says Yosuke Matsuoka was the leader, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. His defiant speech of the League of Nations in 1933, he did a lot of the foreign stuff leading up to all the problems we had in China. So, like, yeah, the mod's wrong. And that does not feel good, man, because it makes me look like an idiot. It's fine. It's not really a big deal, but it's just like, huh, I would never have known that. What do we have here? Joseph Crew, I think it's Crew, the American ambassador, has approached us with demands. An official apology for the Panay incident. Many in our government advise us to give in to the demands and issue an apology in order to avoid angering the giant, as we are still engaged in a war with China and cannot afford further escalation. On the other hand, an apology makes us look weak. So we could issue an apology and lose 25 political power, or we could give them silence. I hate the idea of antagonizing the US, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it because I really don't want to antagonize them until I really want to follow a historical path, even though it scares the frick out of me, because it didn't go well for Japan in the end. But at some point, we have to invade, let's say, the Philippines. I've got to start taking over all these islands. I've got to compete with the US for naval dominance, and that probably scares me more than anything else. But if we can knock out this war with China quickly, so that I can focus my attention in other areas and maybe not have to deal with the USSR, if we could get up to, let's say, Alaska, and then start making a push into California, oh boy, would that be an awesome feather in my cap. I'm just saying. Other things that we can do with our huge amounts of army experience, we could go for some more organization, we could go for breakthrough, that's good. But I don't have tanks, so that doesn't amount to much. 20% defense or organization. Yeah, and then the air superiority and stuff sounds great. I'm gonna go ahead and work down this toward the end. We can always circle back and pick up things like the mobile defense a little bit later, but I think that having some of those extra stats is always going to end up being a nice thing for me. You guys can stop trying to pin this down. It apparently did not work. Even if he does send these troops over here, they have no equipment. These guys are just setting themselves up to die. An end to military antics. Yeah. That doesn't sound right, it really doesn't. I guess we can go for... This is the beginning of the end. What does this all do? National defense state. Hang on, I just want to read something. This isn't a thing where these options changed based on what foreign minister I picked up, right? It's not that kind of a thing? I don't think it is. But some of this just feels like it makes me weaker, not stronger, and that bothers me tremendously. All right, well, let's just go ahead and tell him to push. Be careful, though, and I'm going to go to Mongolia, and I'm finally going to call you into the war. It's time. We'll let you start getting involved and push yourselves and distract all of these troops while I make more pushes. So as long as we're not doing anything dumb, and I constitute these kinds of fights as dumb without having a lot more flanking power, thank you. Let's have you guys all focus fire like this. See, now that's a much better fight. I'm good with this. This is fine. We'll take over Shuzhou, however you say any of that. I don't even know. All right, let's go ahead and launch. This is looking good. Can I pause from the game for a second while we're doing all this and tell you about something really, really stupid that just happened that has, like, set me so on edge that I literally don't even know how I'm recording right now? So, I came home today. And I went up to my office to go and record, as one does, in YouTube, right? I come upstairs, and for some reason, it's one of those things where my brain goes, wait a minute. Sat here, in the doorway, and I just looked, and I'm like, my desk is different. My desk has moved. It is not supposed to be that far away from the wall. It is literally crooked. Someone grabbed the corner of my desk and moved it. Who the heck did that? Because I don't remember doing that, right? Which obviously is terrifying. You start thinking, okay, hang on. The only person who has a key to my house, besides me, is my dog sitter who looks after Gimli. Did my dog sitter go upstairs into my office and move my desk? Why? Why on earth would that have happened? And your brain immediately starts going down all the paths of like, oh my God, somebody that I'm supposed to trust is snooping in my house. And I brought my wife up and I'm like, does this seem normal to you? And she's like, you know, now that you mention it, no, it doesn't. And I'm like, right? So we're sitting there freaking out like, oh my God, is my dog sitter getting into my house? And I had a brilliant idea, and that's actually one of the only reasons I'm willing to talk about this story here, because I'm actually sort of proud of a smart thing I did. I did something clever, okay? I did something clever. I sat there and I'm like, hang on. If my desk is moved, I can prove it. Because I can pull up my recording software, I can see where my webcam is, I can contrast the angle of my webcam to where it was in the videos I just recorded last week, and see if it's different. And if it is, I know someone moved my desk. Camera was the same. It's different now, I've moved it now, but like, camera was the same. And it's like, okay, I just created physical evidence that my desk has not moved in the last 24 hours. I still don't remember moving it, but somehow in the last month, I must have moved it. I must have, and I just wasn't paying attention. And God, it's so stupid. And yet, as somebody who was robbed as a kid and had my house broken into and I've been paranoid ever since, and I also have severe trust issues because of things like that, God, that set me on edge. My adrenaline was going and everything. It still is a little bit. My stomach has not unclenched. So yeah, freaked me the frick out. I know you're over there, Nyali, I can hear you. I know you're standing there. Did it freak you out too? Yeah, it freaked you out too. We're both just sitting there like, why? Why would someone have moved my desk? What could possibly have been the purpose? Were you trying to get into my computer? Is there a USB plugged in? Are you trying to get some virus-like monitoring software in there? Because we've been worried about that recently for other reasons I haven't disclosed. So like, that was the thought. It's just your brain freaks the frick out. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's one of those things, you know, where it's like you're supposed to trust someone and your brain just betrays you completely. And it was completely fine, but I just was so sure that it wasn't. And I'm like ready to call this person, confront them, maybe call the police with evidence if I've got it. I'm glad I didn't, obviously, but it's just like, oh my God. The human brain should not do these things to me. It's not okay. Anyway. Hey, we got an extra military factory. Let's actually play the game, right? Okay. What do we want? Logistically speaking, the only thing I'm really missing out on is motorized. So I feel like we've got to start putting some factories into that. And it makes sense, if nothing else, because I'm going to need... Where is motorized? Wait a minute. Am I not making any? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I just need more factories down over here. But, like, I need more motorized, if nothing else, because, well, supplies are a thing. You've got to get some of that going. So I'm going to take care of that. I'll get some motorized going. But otherwise, yeah, we're pushing pretty steadily over here. Looks like things are looking great in the Mongol territory. I say great, they've left me an open line here, but if we just march through and grab a couple more victory points, we can probably get the Shaanxi clique to fall apart. We're also taking out Mao Zedong, which always feels good, because the filthy communists must burn. 5 races under 1 union. How exciting for all you peoples. Dai Tao Kyoiken. So we lose 10 strength. We change something. Taoshin Chi Tsujo becomes known as the Dai Tao Kyoiken. We gain a load of political power for reasons I probably don't need. Is there more that I really ought to be doing with the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere? Probably. Let me think here. Because our strength right now is 20. I don't know if there's a reason we want to do that. I guess I don't see any reason not to invite the Jews into East Asia. Let's go ahead and do that. Lose money, gain war support. That seems like a fine use of money. I like war support. I'm okay also with the idea of reducing resistance by ingratiating, quote-unquote, the English language. Lose some strength out of the amount of that, but that's fine. Do some marches. I don't want to reduce the strength there. I don't want to increase the growth speed. We were just talking about that. I can also boost up my compliance game by just spending some money, and that seems pretty darn good. Like, some of these things are fine, but what's the advantage of boosting up the strength? Is it just so I'm able to take these focuses without something falling apart? What's the downside of losing some strength? These are things that just aren't obvious to me, and they probably are to you guys because you're smarter than I am. Okay, that is totally possible. Or I'm falling for the classic YouTube curse, which is I'm trying to talk, and I'm trying to, like, process things at the same time, and that ain't gonna work, all right? No, I don't think there's anything new in there that, like, gives me a clue as to what this does that differs from what I already knew. I think that's fine. Anyway, I'm thinking that Mao should be falling apart any second now. Conflict at Lake Khasan. What's going on here now? More Russian conflicts. Tenno Hakai Banzai. Okay, hang on. Do we have more things to worry about now? Yep, we've got another balance of power issue. Gosh dang it, I don't feel like I'm good at these. It feels to me like this should be a 90% chance of good things happening. Let's try to get some Manchurian aid, see if that does me literally any good. But we should be able to get rid of Mao. There we go, there's the Shaanxi clique, not what I expected. Mao, you've got nothing left, please go away, thank you. All right, that's another capitulation. We got some tanks out of the arrangement, which is pretty cute. Then, I'm gonna have you guys move forward and just keep this all going. The fall of Wuhan. Excellent, so we got that. That's taken care of. Gonna have you guys basically start pushing this way, and it's just gonna be a giant march. All right, this is what I'm going for now, just one giant march, and let's make sure we are getting as much of the supply out of the arrangement as we can. How are we doing as far as the war, by the way? I'm definitely taking more casualties. We're up to 77,000, but we're doing great. We've killed 1.5 million. The Republic of China is now 67% of the way towards capitulation. Seriously, if we can just grab some more of these really big victory points, like over here, we've got these guys. Which, I'm not surprised, all right? This was always kind of expected, but I would like to end this quickly and keep my losses low, because that feels pretty darn good, man. They're definitely starting to buckle under the pressure, which is good. I need some of you guys to now start pushing up this direction if you can. Ooh, can I not cross this river? Weird. All right, this apparently is not a thing we can do. Reopen the case. All right, so the state of Manchuria loses stability, but we have Jewish settlers encouraged, giving weekly manpower and stuff. I also get some money, and our strength goes up. This seems pretty awesome. I, again, don't know if it's awesome, but it feels pretty good, so I'm gonna go with it. Very small encirclements coming out of here as well, which is nice. Just means a little bit less to worry about. Their front line's not looking really good either, to be honest. Like, I may be having some trouble, but, like, they're having more trouble. Let's start building more bombers, by the way. I do think that bombers are still pretty darn good for me. So, still looking great. 79,000. Definitely killed tens of thousands more, and we're really close to finishing out the Republic of China. I just need to get up to a few more major victory points. And if we just basically march through here up to Chengdu, I think that's basically all we would need. We're really close here. Okay, so there's the second armored train unit, which basically is just, again, a chance of something happening. Don't really know what. Balance of power's not looking a lot better for me, if I'm honest. 60% chance. Again, I don't know if this did me anything. Maybe the platoon is just not effective enough and it's still a 50% chance. So I guess I'll go for some contacts and then maybe we can use that to do some artillery barrages. I don't know. At this point, I really have no idea how I'm supposed to swing things in my favor against the Soviets. It seems like it's just purely luck-based, which is a little frustrating, but oh well, tis what tis. So far, I'm not really losing much from them. And if we can be friends with a certain Germany, maybe at some point we'll have an opportunity to take Siberia away. The beginning of Dat Wah Kyoikan. Kyoikan? I don't remember. Japanese pronunciations, man, they hurt my heart. While existing in other forms and different names for several years, the idea of a Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere formally announced by the foreign minister is far more immediate. In light of the recent and continuous destabilization of the old continent, the Western imperialists have been weakened. This gets us a chance to get a lot more stuff. The oppressed people of the Indonesia and other Asian lands will finally be able to state their heritage. The Empire of Japan will basically lead this new hegemonic sphere of influence. 8 corners of the world united under one roof. Awesome. Let's go for the consumer goods, stability, war support, all that stuff. I can't, why not? Because I haven't done this first. Right, this makes sense. Oh, China, you were not prepared. Boom, boom, bada freaking boom. Holy crud, World War II hasn't started yet, and I get China! You know, I don't know if maybe the mod's a little easy, I don't know if it played it well, I'm just gonna say, like, maybe sometimes I'm not so bad at this game. Anyway, what do we want? Great question. The cowardly Chinese nation can no longer withstand the pressure, they are goodbye. Great news. Do I take all of the land for myself, or do I create a few satellites? This is the question. I know one thing I do, I take all of the Navy for sure. Every ship I can get is gonna make my life a lot easier. Let's start with stuff that I think I'm gonna want. All right, we'll go ahead and take all of this. And all this for good measure, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I kind of feel like I wanna take it all. I mean, if we've already got 60% compliance, what's the downside again? I'm not sure there is one. Submit demands. Take all of that. Manchuria and such, you guys aren't gonna take anything, are you? Because, like, if you do, I'm just gonna say, I'll be real peeved off. So don't you freaking dare. I'm just gonna take it all. I'm gonna take it all. If we want to release some people after the fact, we can do it. Okay, take the last of the land, take the Navy, Dunskies, and that is it, right? No, wait. These guys have some ships as well. Submit those demands. That should be everything I can do. And my puppets should not have messed up literally any of this. So confirm and exit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my new Empire of Japan, 79 new states. Oh, that's pretty cool. So how are we looking as far as those collaborations? Did that all, whoops, that's not it. Did that all work the way it was supposed to? Chinese Soviets, these guys are at 33%. Let's see, Micronesia, these guys are struggling, these guys are struggling. Republic of China, we're at 62%, which means we've already got the volunteer program. Holy crud, okay. So as far as our garrisons, I'm expecting this to get a lot worse, but we also should be pretty good at repressing the resistance anyway, thanks to some of the stuff that I've done. That was such a clean war. Holy crud. So here's my new question. What now? Because that was really, really fast. Good lord. I mean, we created so much world tension. 74% of this is our fault. Right. Germany hasn't done a dang thing. Yeah. How are we looking in Sweden, by the way? I'm wondering why Germany is making nice with Sweden. I don't know, but they are. Anyway, yeah, nothing's happened over here. World War II hasn't begun, and Japan has already conquered all of China. All of it. So now what? Get ready to fight against allies? Do we have any national focuses that help with this? Because I don't think we do, at least not until we get up here. Strike South Doctrine, which is 1941. When World War II begins in earnest, which is not going to be for a freaking another 2 years, a little bit more, then we can start look at this, then we get the Annex War Goals. Commonwealth of the Philippines, Dutch East Indies, Malay States, blah, blah, blah. I can't do a dang thing for so long because I sat around and I was too stinking awesome. Like, for example, if I were to just go crazy, right? If I were just to go crazy, I declare on the Philippines. Is this one of them situations where I could go and attack the US before they join a faction and before they get stronka? Is that a thing? Because Black Thursday's still killing them. Do we know anything about, like, their laws? Standing army. They've got some troops. They're not disarmed. It's not a disarmed isolationist nation as far as I can tell. For all I know, that's not even an option at this point in the game. Who knows? But, like, I literally am wondering, can we rush an early war against the US? I'm not totally opposed. Let's send some spies over here. This is why spies exist, to find out what your enemy has. And once you know what your enemy has, we can decide if it makes sense to go kill them. I'm just saying, if you're ever going to attack the US, just as like a general rule, doing so before they have joined any faction is the way to go. Always. Contacts provided useful information. Excellent. A little bit more power goes in my direction against the Soviets. What is something else I can do? I can invite Manchuria into my yen block. Can have one uniform currency. They lose a lot of money. I get money. Seems pretty good. I'll go ahead and invite both of you guys. Requisition the forced labor, don't see the point, blah, blah, blah. Spend some money, build shrines, get compliance faster, seems great. Support the native nationalists. Shouldn't need to do that for some strength right now. And am I crazy? Or let's do more unity marchers. Okay, we can go above 30. I thought for some reason it didn't go up, but it did. Yeah, let's just do that for now. We're pretty strong. I wish there was more I could do with this faction a little bit. Oh, there's the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. That finally happened. Oh, good. A bunch of people are starting to embargo me. Yeah, it's almost like people don't like that I conquered all of China. You guys should be impressed. Okay, that took me like a year and a half to conquer all of China. All right, the world should be just basking in my glory. That's what they should be doing. Got our national spiritual whatever thing, mobilization, that's it. We'll go ahead and pick this one up too. We'll get some more stability and war support, which is always nice. I'm not messing with any of these laws right now because I'm trying to be careful with that. Though, realistically speaking, now that we're not at war, you know, that's the other thing. Instead of attacking the US, another option is to now demobilize a lot of my economy to start ramping up the money. Though here's the thing, we're now making a stupid amount of money. How many factories do I have? Holy frick, we got a lot more. Yeah, that's what happens when you get lots of compliance with China. This ain't bad. I like this. Yep, there's a stalemate. All right, so it worked fine, and we get a slight research bonus for a land doctrine. Yeah, a little bit late for that one, but thank you, much appreciated. It is the thought that counts after all, right? Probably, I don't know. Hey, we're finally making some motorized. All right. I'm going to train up a whole nother army of soldiers. I know we don't have the equipment for all of it yet, mostly in the form of motorized. But if we're fighting against the US, a whole nother army seems really important for me. We've got 30-something% intel on the US. What do we know about you so far? You have not got much yet. The thing is, they still have a strong navy. That is an undeniable fact. The US, even when they are in their demilitarized state, has a really big, scary, strong navy. But they're not all over here. Some of them are in California and Hawaii. A lot are not. They'd have to go all the way through the Panama Canal. But I need enough patrol vehicles to do enough jumping on the islands. Like, it's not like we can blitz into California, because if I can do that, we can win a war against the US. I have confidence. But like, it would take me a long time to jump to all these islands so that I can then get in range to even get to California. A easier path might be to push up to Alaska, right? You start up here in Attu Island, jump up over here, start actually marching through Alaskan territory. In the meantime, get ready for another naval invasion into Oregon and Washington. Do that, and you got yourself a foothold. Oh, guys, how long will it take me to train some more troops? How long would it take? Out of curiosity. They'll be done March. Few months. Guys, I think we need to do it. If there's anything in this entire game that scares me, it's the US. If I can knock the US out before they join the Allies, no guarantee, but if I can, it changes literally everything. I'm gonna hold off on this for a little bit. I think we got some time, but it's not a lot of time. The US isn't gonna start really militarizing hard until late 1939 and 1940, right? Probably. What is this? We have not yet had the Karuizawa Conference, so there's nothing I can do about this yet. So we could change up our spending. I could go for some more bonuses to my navy or to my bombers. Is there anything here that would give me a really big bonus? See, a lot of these are just gonna unlock ships that I've already unlocked. So like, I don't really see a lot of advantage to this. But we could try to get some bonuses into marine technology. Hey, actually, wait a minute. Getting 100% bonus on marine technology means that I can get the tech ahead of time that lets me go for faster and larger naval invasions at a time when naval invasions might be very important. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. It's now a question of timing, but I think I've convinced myself we've gotta take advantage of this. I am in the best position I'm probably ever going to be in as far as just taking on the US directly. I don't know if it's the right call, I just think that it's what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm in a really good spot, technologically, economically, financially. Everything's looking really solid. The things that will carry me to victory are better ships, naval bombers, fighters, and then having enough troops to actually fight the US. That's it. I can do that. I feel really, really, really good about my chances. Hey, we got ourselves a railway gun. That's always exciting. Something go boom from a really long distance away. And Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 1939. All right, we're infiltrating the civilian government of the US just because I feel like that's probably a good thing to do. But yeah, intel still suggests they're not strong. This is an easy as frick war for me right now. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and do it, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I need to take a break, think about it, dream about it. That's often how I process things in these games anyway. But I think that the plan is going to be justify a war goal against the Philippines. It'll take 150 days. We could possibly speed that along if we were, let's say, a warmonger. That reduces the justify war goal time by a bit more. But I don't know if time is necessarily my problem here. I don't know. We'll consider doing something like this. I got political power. It speeds us up. It lets us go for a quick war. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.